I say sugar is a drug, people get like, oh my gosh, they get like, I can't believe you said that. But it's true. Sugar is a drug in every form. It's addictive. It's detrimental to our health. You go through withdrawals when you go off it. So I don't feel like most people understand how damaging sugar is.
And that lets you save. Who cares?
Welcome to a brand new edition of Ageless Energy, where we talk about how to burn fat, increase energy, and balance hormones for women over 40. Over the past 20 years as a performance coach, I've worked with hundreds of women that have the exact same struggles you do. I hope to shine some light with this podcast on what can be the most challenging time of your life and let you know there is hope to find success with your health and what you're looking for. Please share and enjoy.
Thank you guys for joining me. Today we're talking about our sugar detox, how you can sugar detox, and we're going to talk about our annual sugar detox is what we do. Today we're going to be talking about our sugar detox. So I got to tell you, I'm super excited. I've been working on Detox by Yourself, which is my book, which is actually my first book by myself. And I'm excited to have like a new version. I feel like I'm calling it the second edition, but it's been a work in progress. So we've been doing these detox every year. We actually do them twice a year, but I always improve and add, and we've done graphics, and every time we do a sugar detox, we add information. So the book is about 150 pages, the original copy, and I just added, these last few weeks, another 150 pages. So it's double the size, double the content, and it's not even double the price. But it's something I've been working hard on. And I think anytime you put together a project like this, you have to be proud of the accomplishments that you've put together. And that's something that I'm really excited about and looking forward to share with the public again. So this is another, when the book came out, it was actually a bestseller in Calgary, which is pretty cool. It was on a bestseller list for the Calgary area. I was doing book signings every weekend, and it wasn't easy by any means, sitting out in front of people, putting yourself out there, especially as an introvert. So if you just want a book, you can grab a book. Of course, it's a physical copy. You get to keep that book, and then you get a full week of us. And we have tons of information. It's going to be lots of fun. A lot of people that we've heard from are struggling with getting on track and going in the right direction. So I think this is a perfect time to get people inspired, motivated. We got information, so informed on what you can do to get going in the right direction. So that's definitely something that we're looking forward to. We have a lot of time to make this happen. The only problem is a lot of people wait till the last minute. So we actually have people that will be signing up Monday and Tuesday. Not next week, but the following week. So we have all this whole week to get prepped and planned and people into the group. So we already have people in the group. We already have people sharing. So if you share a post, we offer you a free bag of flakes. If you bring a friend, we offer you a bigger bag. So we have a lot of incentives to get people active. We also have participation. We have more participation prizes. So those people that are more active and more engaged, we have prizes for those people too. So a lot of people like giveaways. They like free stuff. I mean, who doesn't? So we try to incentivize as much as possible, because the more you're involved, the more you're going to get out of it. So the sooner we can get you interested, involved, taking action, the more results you're going to see, which is our ultimate goal, is to show you that the program actually works as long as you are invested in it. So that's what we have going on with the sugar detox. We do have quite a few people that have done it in the past. And then someone just asked, is it the same as last time? And it's funny that question comes up, but it's never the same. And we used to do these a bit more often, maybe every couple of months, but now we kind of bring them together. And we do them in September for sure, and sometimes in January. Sorry. Sometimes we do them in January as well. But every single group is different, because we have new energy So we have new questions or different questions. So we have different answers, different information. Every group kind of takes on a life of its own. So it has new interests, new energy. And we have some new products to share and new information. So we learn ourselves every year. I'm always researching on different ways to help detox the body. So especially when it comes to sugar, because we're going to have people that are going to have sugar withdrawals. We're going to have a little bit of brain fog, feel like you're hungover a bit, but we now have some ways to help improve those sugar detoxes or those sugar withdrawals, and help people get back to mental clarity quicker. So it's all very exciting. Every time we do these, we get a little bit better, and our information gets a bit more informed. We can share more details, so everyone gets more out of it every time we do these different detoxes. So what can you do to detox yourself? When we talk about detoxify yourself, I don't even have an older copy here, but when we talk about detoxifying yourself, it's mental detox. So that's a big thing right now. A lot of people are struggling mentally with a lot of different things going on in the world right now. We talk about mind clutter. So our mind is often cluttered with things that it shouldn't be there, causing stress, causing toxins to build up, which is usually mental toxins, mental thoughts. So that's important to mention. We also talk about the food that the items, like the cookware, the items that you're preparing with. So a lot of people are using Teflon, for example. You just grab the cheapest pan, not knowing that Teflon actually causes toxins. They put the toxins into the food, and it also burns. When that pan is burning on the stove, it also releases toxins into the air that we're breathing. They actually did tests on birds. It's kind of crazy. That's what they used to do. I don't remember exactly what they were testing for. If you guys know, help me out. But they were in the mines, and they would send a bird, I think it was a canary, into the mine, and it was some kind of gas that was toxic and detrimental to the health of anything breathing. So they'd send a bird in there, and if the bird didn't come out, then they know not to go into the mine because it had this toxic fumes. Well, they did the same tests on birds when it came to Teflon, and many of the birds died because of the toxic fumes that when burning, that substance was giving off. It's toxic. Now, it wasn't killing people, but it was harming their health. And of course, a bird is very small. So it's important to note that we're going to be covering toxic materials, and also plastic. I'm really a fan of staying away from plastic. So what happens is we once we get going, we have this beautiful food that we teach you how to prepare, and then you sometimes cook it on a toxic pan, but then we help you remove those toxic. We're not going to say go ahead and get rid of all the pans in your house, or don't clear out your pantry or bathroom. That's not what we're about. We're going to teach you how to take sustainable steps in that fashion. But let's say you have good quality food, you prepared it in a clean fashion, and then we have a better pan that we're cooking with. Maybe it's a cast iron pan, maybe it's a ceramic pan. And then we take that beautifully well cooked, delicious food, and we store it in plastic containers, and we store it in the fridge. It doesn't make sense to me. That's why even with our supplements, when we stay away from plastic containers, because you have good quality products, and then you put them in cheap plastic. Sometimes that plastic leaches into the food. So have you ever thrown something plastic in the dishwasher and it kind of like shrivels up? That's the plastic I'm talking about. That's the plastic we want to avoid. So we talked about mentally a bit, how we're going to give you tools and suggestions on how to reduce stress, how to get away from all that mental clutter and reduce, it's mental health is a big thing right now. That was put in Detoxify Yourself, my book, years ago. So we've always known how important that is. It just seems to be more apparent in today's day and age. So that's going to be super important, is reducing mental, because if we're not mentally detoxed, or if our mind is so filled of toxins, and when I say toxins, I also mean stress. So many different toxins come in many different forms, and toxic thoughts, for example, toxic words, these things that continually play in our minds, those are detrimental to our health just as much as food, maybe more. We had so many people excited. Our sugar detoxes went crazy last January, and then last September, and we still have people in our Fit Fam from those, and we still have people talking about it from months ago. So it's really cool to be able to put a group, I suppose, a group that beneficial to influence people months later. We have people writing in since August that are saying, "Hey, are you doing another sugar detox in September?" And I said, "Yeah, just be patient. We're going to get that going here, but not till the end of September." So it's really a good time to get back on track. A lot of people, this whole summer was a challenge for a lot of people, from barbecuing, things that we don't usually barbecue, staying up late, visiting with friends and family, traveling a little bit more. So this summer was rough on a lot of people, but now, so we've heard that a lot of people haven't really been on track, which is perfectly fine. That's how life goes sometimes, but that's why getting involved in a private group to offer motivation, information, inspiration, but that private group and that environment really makes a big difference, because we're going to have people posting on a regular basis. We're going to have questions coming up often. Those questions come up. The more questions we get, the more chance we can help the whole community learn, because the more questions that come from outside, meaning not from Dorothy and I, then we can have a better idea of what information you guys want, maybe what we're missing in the program, and how we can help improve it. But asking questions I actually just put a post up on Instagram this morning about asking questions and how important it is to be informed. And I was always a question kid. I remember like teachers rolling their eyes at me when I was a kid, like, "Oh my gosh, this kid has questions." But now I get a chance to do that almost full time. But for 10 years, we've had Exploring Mind and Body, and I ask questions for at least a half hour, which I enjoy. But we should be asking questions. Otherwise, I always say, if you don't ask questions, how do you know? Sometimes you don't like to hear the answer. Like, I get that often. Like, people ask me questions and I tell them the answer. They don't really like it, but you should be able to go to someone that's going to tell you the truth, I think. Otherwise, if you just go to people to hear what you want to hear, then I don't think it's all that beneficial. So, you know what's crazy is that when I say sugar is a drug, people get like, "Oh my gosh," they get like, I can't believe he said that, but it's true. Sugar is a drug in every form. It's addictive. It's detrimental to our health. You go through withdrawals when you go off it. So I don't feel like most people understand how damaging sugar is. And for me, like being in the food industry, I have no idea how it's approved. But then, of course, you have like aspartame, and you have maltodextrin, and you have propylene glycol. You have all these ingredients that shouldn't be in products to begin with. And somehow they're approved. I think I said FDA, Health Canada, like it's all the same. Do you know that if you can buy that heart healthy logo and put it on your product? Did you catch that? I said you can buy it. So all you have to do is be a part of the Heart and Stroke Foundation. You pay a fee, and you can put that. Doesn't matter how clean your product is. You can put that logo on your product. Which is, it's crazy to me. A lot of people don't think twice about it, or they're like, "Oh, this is a heart health," like Quaker Oats. Like, Quaker's a big company, and they make all kinds of different products, not just oats. Or I think they used to put that. They used to make those. They probably still do. I just haven't seen them in years, but they make those little packages of oatmeal that I used to have, and they had put tons of sugar in there, but it's those ones that you used to put water in, you put in the microwave. And then that stuff is like heart healthy. Hey, come on. let's use our minds. So we have lots of common sense to share. But I think a lot of people don't realize that you can buy those. I'm trying to think about other things, but there's a lot of different things that happen in the food industry. You know, when you go into the grocery store, those companies pay, like you pay for where your product is. So when we had our product in health food stores, it's a little bit different in health food stores, but we had our product in health food stores. We had 26 stores across Canada, I think. And we had our product either way at the top shelf or way at the bottom shelf. That's where they would put it, because we were a small company. I didn't have any marketing money. And then they would only order small amount. But the companies that give them kickbacks, they put them at eye level. They put their products at eye level. So it doesn't mean it's better selling. It doesn't mean it's better, it's healthier. All it means is they get better kickback. So one of the companies, there's a rep that came in, and I was in there doing a demo, and a rep that came in, he came in and he was like a celebrity. Everyone loved him when he came in because he gave them all kinds of free stuff. Gave him t-shirts, gave him samples, gave him gift cards to local restaurants. And I this was years ago. I hardly had enough money to feed myself. And this guy's like feeding the whole staff. And then, of course, they put a big display up of that particular brand. And then they put it right at eye level. Like when you walked in, you couldn't miss their display. And I always wondered how they got their products there. And like, obviously they pay through kickbacks, but at the grocery store, it's a little bit different. Like you pay for shelf space. That's why I say you vote. Like when you go to the grocery store, you vote on good quality products, on cheap products, on toxic products. So the more of a good quality product you buy, then the store manager's like, hey, we got to get more of that product. If a product is sitting there and no one buys it, they're not going to replenish it. And then when it comes to expiration dates or when it comes time to reordering, they'll discontinue it or they'll put it on the discount rack and not order again because not enough people are buying it. So many times that comes from customers' choices. And I think like grocery stores kind of have to guess like what's trendy, what people are buying, what people are talking about. They go and buy those products or whoever's paying them the most money to get on the shelves. And then you also have to look at the really cheap companies that have low quality products. So I was looking at suppliers for protein supplements, and this is actually Optimum Nutrition. I used to buy it. Well, their product is cheaply made in China. And a lot of supplements come from China. It's not like a surprising thing. And I'm not just like picking on that one company. Not like this show is going to change their bottom line, but that one company. That's what I do when I'm looking for ingredients. I'm looking at sourcing. I'm looking for manufacturers. So all I'm doing is doing research. And this Optimum Nutrition company came up from a company selling it in China, and I could order that in bulk if I wanted to. I don't know if I could repackage it. It might come in, but I could order that from them, and then I could sell it if I wanted to. But you have to look at the quality, right? Quality ingredients also cost more than cheap ingredients. So you have a huge company, and they're able to buy millions of bags, millions of stickers. Of course, they have millions of dollars in marketing, but also they can order the more weight, the more quantity or more weight you order, the better margin you get. So it's a bigger upfront cost fee, but as you break it down and sell it individually, you make more per unit. So you have these big companies that have really low quality products because the lower quality ingredients, the cheaper they are to purchase, the source. And so their margins are huge. They're making a ridiculous amount of money on a cheap quality product as a giant company because of their branding. So it's just interesting to me, like knowing how much we make on a container of protein or on some of our other supplements that we have. Like I know how much we make per, like our margin is. And then when I go to like those big companies, I'm like, my gosh, they must make a killing on like each single unit. For us to make profit, we have to sell a good number of our product. And then we have to be able to sell all of it, of course, before we can order more. And these guys, they're just pumping this cheap quality product out, and it's just going out to the masses, and people are eating it up, not understanding like what happens behind the scenes. So that's why we say support local. That's why we say, what I really like is those little artisan markets. I call them artesian markets. I thought it was artesian for the longest time, those little artisan markets, but they're popping up all over, and those are more supporting local. So most of those companies are local companies. So it could be handmade stuff. It could be locally made products, soaps, could be lotion, whatever it is. But if you go into those shops, you'll see those prices are a bit higher because of what I just explained, because everything costs them more than going to the biggest box store, that big giant blue store at the end of town I can't stand. So those big giant box stores, they usually import all their products, and they usually import those products from other countries. that have cheap labor. And then the big companies order huge quantities of them. It's just like Costco. Like, look at Costco. Like, Costco is able to order better pricing on all their products because they bring in so much inventory. So they could go to a product, they could go to a company, and that company, they would say, hey, what's your price for wholesale? And they say, you can buy 10,000 units at $9.99. And they say, okay, well, what if we buy 100,000 units? And they say, okay, we'll sell it to you for $5.99. Right? So the more that you can order, the better price, which is why Costco's pricing is so cheap compared to other companies that sell the same brand. You can look at the dollar store. The dollar stores sell vitamins and supplements. Like, it's beyond me. But then you go and read the ingredients, and it's horrible ingredients. And then we have our clean product with all clean ingredients. Well, the cheaper, the more cheap ingredients, the more fillers, additives, preservatives, the cheaper the product is. So you can go to the dollar store and buy any kind of vitamin for $2. And if we were to sell a good quality vitamin, it might be $10. So they're like, oh, it says the same thing on it. Why is yours so much different? Like, why does yours cost so much more? And then to sit there and have a 20-minute conversation with someone, they're usually not interested. They're just like, oh, I'm just going to go with this cheap one. See you later.
One of the things I would like to ask of you guys is that some of you know that I don't run ads on the show and don't plan on in the immediate future. So the only ask I have for you is that you help us spread the word so we can help more women burn body fat, increase energy, and balance their hormones. And the only way that we can do that is if you can rate and review this podcast. So the single thing that I could have you do or could ask of you is to leave a review. It'll take 5 minutes or one swipe of the thumb. It would mean the absolute world to me. And more importantly, you could change the world for someone else. As many of you know, there's plenty of women that struggle in this age group for balancing hormones, increasing energy, and burning body fat. So if you could help spread the word, that would make a big difference in our life and probably someone else's as well.
So when it comes back to our sugar detox, which is our main topic here, is that we have to look at an overall, like when we talk about our sugar detox, we talk about a holistic lifestyle detox. So we talk about mind, mood, mental clutter. That's very important to talk about. We're going to talk about why we avoid GMOs, soy, gluten, and dairy. All of those are removed from all of the foods that we have put in the meal plan or that you're going to create yourself. So it's a 30-day meal plan, which with recipes included. We also have now added workouts and the stretching routine. I'm excited about both of those. Those are new additions. I've added fermented foods in there. I'm a big fan of fermented foods and gut health. Anytime you improve your gut health, you also improve your energy. Anytime you improve your gut health, you increase your energy, I should say. So a lot of times our energy goes to our digestion. A lot of people are constipated or they're not able to get past indigestion. So any of those digestion issues, good quality food will help with that without question. Food that has fiber in it. We're going to talk about complex carbs and how you can actually gain energy from healthy fats. I have a whole new section on healthy fats. I'm talking about the difference between MCT oil, like all fats, and MCT oil is in there. So we've got so many new additions. It's like a brand new book. And we're going to be going through all that. That's the thing when people say, oh, is your sugar detox the same as last time? Our sugar detox is going to be quite a bit different because we have new things to add that weren't in the last ones. So we're very excited about that. When we talk about a lifestyle detox, we also talk about ingredients, not only ingredients we put in our body, but what we put on our body. So the bathroom, can you guys get, I already gave it away. Can you guess what the most toxic place in the house is? It's the bathroom. So usually we have soaps, toothpaste, lotions, cleaners, all that stuff is toxic to our health. And we need to remove that to improve our health holistically. When I say holistically, I mean as a whole, all around. We're not just talking about food. We're not just talking about your body. We're talking about your mind, emotions. We're talking about what you put on your body. Your skin's our biggest organ. Anything we put on our skin absorbs inside, which causes those internal issues, like those organ issues or we have a whole lymphatic system that sits right under our skin. So what's the first thing that hits? What's the first thing that gets hit after it absorbs through our skin is our lymphatic system. And you have people dealing with lymphatic cancer, for example. They're not going to go ahead and say it. Like, that's not going to be on headline news, but I'm telling you, like, I strongly believe that major disease stems from, I believe it stems from actually a thought first, and then words, which could be turned into actions. But those internal stresses and the things that we put on our body is all absorbed in many different ways. So, by continually putting toxins on your body, you're continually putting your health at risk. So we're going to talk about how to properly detox your bathroom and add better quality items. And we're not those people that are like, just get rid of everything. And it's not sustainable. It's not financially viable. Like, we'll slowly add things to your pantry, to your bathroom, under your sink, wherever it is, in your medicine cabinet. What we do is we slowly add things instead of take away, because it's a whole mindset, which is why we have to address the mind as well. Once you are continually adding, then sometimes people feel a bit overwhelmed and they have to get rid of things. Or the opposite is, if you start taking away, then we get like oh my gosh, we have that mindset of lack. We don't have enough money. We don't have a big enough house. We don't have enough cars, friends, job, like whatever it is, we have that mindset of lack. So if we can have a mindset of abundance and add things to wherever it is we're working on, then you can slowly get rid of, and then you can buy. So once you use your toxic, you want to use your toxic body lotion, then use it. I'm not going to tell you to throw it away, but that might be a good idea. Once that's done, though, you have a cleaner one sitting there waiting for you. The problem is those cleaner ones can be more challenging to find. That's why we want to replace it now. Replace it now before you run out, because once you run out, you got to run to the pharmacy. And the pharmacy usually has like a bar of soap. Like, where do you buy a bar of soap? Usually at the pharmacy or at the grocery store. And then you're sitting there looking through, maybe at the health food store, or you can go to one of those artisan shops, and you can buy. A lot of people are making homemade soap now, so you can find a lot of different ways to buy cleaner products. But you have to get on it. You have to take action. You have to do it now before you're like, oh, I don't have any more of that. I got to go run to the pharmacy again, because there's not too many good things that come out of the pharmacy. That's all I have for you guys. If you don't want to join, that's perfectly okay. We offer a lot of free information. You guys can take advantage of the free information. You can buy the book alone, standalone, and that's definitely an option. And you can try to join us on another Sugar Detox maybe next year. I don't know. We've actually had some people join this year that say, hey, I've heard good things about this Sugar Detox. We've been posting testimonials over the last couple of weeks, and they're like, I've got to do it this time. I've got to commit. Last couple of years, I've been procrastinating and didn't join. So, we're excited to get those new people in as well. So thank you so much for hanging out, talking about Sugar Detox with us and the back end of industries and how that all works. So I'm going to let you go.